Woofers and subwoofers. Subwoofer. Woofer. Subwoofer. Woofer. Subwoofer. Woofer on steroids. Subwoofer. Woofers and subwoofers are not the same. Subwoofers are most efficient under 80 Hz, while a woofer, also known as a mid-bass driver or speaker, is most efficient between 50 Hz and 1 kHz. Subwoofers can play lower or higher depending on the manufacturer, but the frequency range I provided is where they are most effective at playing. And of course, the enclosure plays a vital role on its output, which can be tuned to your liking. If you use a multi-channel amplifier and use many mid-ranges or console speakers, you can get away with playing a good amount of mid-bass without the need of a dedicated mid-bass woofer. Some people use very few speakers while some use dozens. This can affect the overall SPL and frequency response depending on how your system is set up. A well-balanced audio system should be able to play bass without the need of a subwoofer. The subwoofer is supposed to be there to help the woofer play anything below in frequency response where the woofer itself cannot handle or rolls off. Usually below 50 Hz, although that may vary depending on how your system is set up. It's why you see many home systems use a tweeter, mid-range, and woofer. The woofer handles the mid-bass and the bass. The subwoofer is optional if you want to go much lower and louder, usually sold for home theater systems. Example of an optimum speaker system setup for full sound, frequency response varies depending on your system. Tweeter, mid-range, woofer, subwoofer, and super tweeters in some cases. I've seen people forcing their mid-ranges with bass, and that's not what they are designed for. They are designed specifically for vocals. If you want to cover the upper bass frequencies and mid-bass higher than 80 Hz, then you must use a dedicated woofer, aka mid-bass speaker. A 4th order or 6th order enclosure design can be made to cover the very lows and the very highs, so the subwoofer can be able to play high bass frequencies and sub-mid-bass, almost replacing the woofer if designed properly. Woofers or mid-bass speakers usually have accordion surrounds, a short magnet, and much tighter overall suspension, which makes them suitable for high bass frequencies and mid-bass. Subwoofers may have double or triple stack magnets and a common non-accordion shaped surround, although some subwoofers like the Alpine Type R have a surround similar to that of a woofer. That's why woofers are perfect for bass guitars, cellos, rock guitars, or other instruments that are mid-bass heavy between 80 Hz to 500 Hz. If you try to play those instruments with a subwoofer, you will not be able to reproduce them appropriately. Instead, you will be hearing them thump while also listening to the upper harmonics through the mid-range and tweeter. If you listen to a lot of rap, trap, bass music, or any other type of music that is heavy below 80 Hz, then a subwoofer obviously is the choice. But if you like a nice full sound, don't skip out on a dedicated woofer, aka mid-bass. And yes, you can have a dedicated woofer enclosure and subwoofer enclosure playing at the same time, as long as they are playing at their respective frequencies. Sound engineers do that all the time at concerts and venues. I hope this clarifies the difference between a woofer and a subwoofer. Thank you for watching, and bass on!